Hi everyone, it's me, Arikkel Sunflower. So I thought I'd hop on and do the end of year tarot tag. It's initiated by Chanel Days and it has 12 prompts. So prompt number 1 is decks you've loved using the most this year. And for that prompt, I've chosen 2 decks. The first deck is called the Pot Art Tarot. Very, very cheap from Amazon. It's in a 2-part box. It's just a Rider-Waite-Smith kind of cologne, I should say. Nothing special. It's got kind of like sunbacks, pop of colour, which I like. I like the colour palette, you know, the blues, the pinks and the yellows. And it's been a really good predictive reader this year. It's given me kind of like good readings and I've really enjoyed using it. The Rider-Waite-Smith system is my preferred system, but I don't always like the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. But this one, I think because of the pop of colour, it's just been enjoyable to use. And I haven't been able to put it down this year, if I'm honest. So this is the first deck. And the second deck is the Quiet Rebel Tarot by Lynn Thurman. This is actually my shadow deck. I don't normally have shadow decks, but this one, when I done my interview spread, said it would be more of a shadow deck for me, which it has been. But it's a really beautiful deck. Look at the lovely backs. It's kind of like collage, Rider-Waite-Smith kind of inspired. It's even got like a vintage kind of feel about it. But I just can't put this deck down. It gives really good readings and it's made me confront quite a lot of difficult issues using this deck. It's given me guidance and answers. This was a Kickstarter deck. It did come with a digital PDF book, but Lynn Thurman has now got all her books on Amazon, and it just gives really nice explanations, you know, the insight, core message, shadow sight, upright and reverse meanings, and truth bombs. So these are the 2 decks that I've really enjoyed using this year. Prompt number 2 is the most recent edition, and it has to be the Unicorn Path Oracle by D.M. Forrester, and it's published by Watkins Books, which is a UK kind of metaphysical store. And I bought this deck on a whim to pair with my Journal of Enlightenment Tarot, which is also published by Watkins. So you get like a nice kind of guidebook with it. And I love the kind of like stars in the back of the cards. It looks like an orbit to me. The cards have got like big purple borders, and it's just an oracle deck about unicorns, which I actually like. I've only had this deck for a couple of days, so I haven't actually worked with it per se. The guidebook gives quite a lot of information about each card, and then it also gives you affirmations. So I think this deck could be good for a daily pull. And I was hoping to pair it with the Journey Enlightenment Tarot. I think they complement each other. This also comes with a book. The tarot deck is kind of like, to me, Rider-Waite inspired, so it was quite easy for me to read, but I think they make a great pairing. So this is the main reason why I bought this recent deck, which is to pair with my Journey into Enlightenment Tarot, and also to use as a daily pull. Prompt number 3, a deck that isn't your usual style, but you're vibing with it. And the deck that I've chosen for this prompt is called the Arikkel, I hope that's pronounced right, Tarot. And it's a moninated FOF deck. I bought it from a UK indie publisher because I wanted to help her along. She gave me a really nice kind of card with it. So FOF isn't my usual style, but I just wanted to support the creator. That's why I bought it. And I'm actually vibing with this deck. It comes with a guidebook that also gives yes, no meanings, which I find quite interesting. Faces are quite prominent, and I'm not really keen on decks that have a lot of faces, but then it's readable. So, you know, I wouldn't have ordinarily chosen this deck because of the prominent faces, but now that I've kind of got into it, it's a very readable deck, and I have been enjoying the readings. So I'm glad that I purchased this deck. But, you know, if it wasn't for this newly independent Etsy shop opening, I don't think I would have got this deck, because it's not really my vibe. You know, I'm not really into FOF decks, but this one reads well. It also seems to be an AI deck, which I don't usually purchase, but I made the exception for this deck. I mean, I could be wrong. I did ask the creator if it was AI, and she never actually answered my question, so I don't know whether it is AI, but it kind of looks that way to me. So this is called the Black Empowerment Tarot of FOF. So prompt number 4 is my favourite deck pairing. And I actually like these two decks together. So they're both mass market. The Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle is a Rockpool published deck. And the Desert Illuminations Tarot is a US Games published deck. I think it's the actual colour palette and kind of artwork that goes for me. I've used these two a lot. I mean, the backs are completely different, but I don't know, they just work very well together in readings. You know, the Oracle deck to me kind of finishes off the readings that I've used it for. And I think the colour palettes are just gorgeous. They work really well, in my opinion. So prompt number 5 is Divination accessories, bought or made. So for me, I'm going to show you my tarot card bag. I knitted this bag through intuition. It's supposed to be like a gingerbread doll tarot bag. Done her hair from hair extensions, kind of done her face. The buttons are handmade. It says handmade with love here. And she's a drawstring bag. And this bag holds mini decks, pocket-sized decks more than mini decks. And inside it, I have the Radiant Spirit Tarot. But this is all my own creation. And at the back of it, I've got hand knitted, stroke crocheted by a Bossaday. So it's just my own kind of design. And she's called Gingerbread. So it's just a handmade tarot bag. Prompt number 6 is called Great Card Backs. So I quite like this deck that was made by Tangerine Layla. She used to be part of the tarot community. I haven't seen her for quite a while, but she made this deck. Again, I'm not sure if it's AI, but I wanted to support her. And it's just like an oracle deck that you use your imagination to kind of like read the cards. It's like an intuitive based deck. She sent it to me with a whole lot of goodies, you know, like a tarot mat and some handmade cards. She really, you know, put some of her creations in there. But I like these backs. This first back, Tangy cards, it reminds me of the Blythe doll, or, you know, the Jasmine Beckett Smith sort of characters, you know, with small bodies and big heads. So I like that. So that's the first back. And then this second back is like an alien, like a still looking alien with crystal eyes. And I just think they're really kind of interesting. The fourth back is, it just looks like somebody with a mask on. She looks kind of like Oriental and kind of alienish as well. It looks like she's got like 4 arms, but it's just interesting. And the last backs is like an alien who's kind of spiritual. You know, it looks like she's getting ready to do a tarot reading or some kind of psychic reading. And I guess that because this deck is all about using your intuition, it's fitting. I think they were on Make Playing Cards, but I got this quite a few years ago, so I don't know if they're still around. I think the backs are fantastic. Prompt number 7 is a deck with the theme I like. And the deck that I've chosen for this is called Life is Like a Board Game. I do love board games. I guess when I was a child, there was no such thing as gaming or video games, and I guess that board games were the kind of video games of that generation. This deck reminds me of the game Monopoly, and I just love it. Each suit is kind of color coded, which I like as well. I like my cards to be color coded, and the major cards are not. But it's just a really nice deck, and it's got like keywords as well. So, you know, wands are color coded red, and it's got heavy burden gardens. The pentacles are green, and it's kind of, as I said before, it's kind of based on the game of Monopoly. So this is a deck that I like the theme. 5 of Cups. Damn, that sucks, place. So prompt number 8 is the most beautiful decks this year. I've chosen 2 decks for this. But I think the word beautiful is open to interpretation because everyone sees beauty in different ways. But for me, these decks remind me of inner beauty and the home. So let me show you the first deck. This deck is called Dreamy Homes Oracle Fortune Telling Cards. They're kind of like bubblegum pink, and they're all around the home, and I do like a home. I like decorating and just keeping a home nice, and this deck to me is beautiful. For each card, it's just got like some keywords. So balloon, decoration, surprise, event. A shining facade often conceals a fragile core. Be wary of temptation that seems too perfect. Bathtub. And I like the decor of the houses in this card. Look at that bedroom. It's gorgeous. Blender. And it actually is a very good reader as well. I've done several readings with this deck on its own. So I've done 3 card readings, and I've also used it as well to round off a reading, as well as doing it for a daily pull. So I've done it for 3 things. But I don't know if it's the colour palette, because I do like the sort of colours that are here. Look at this cat. Freedom, self-worth, pride. Value your worth and step away from pleasing others soon. When I look at this deck, I do see beauty. Look at that, this is beautiful. And the second deck is called Ahead of the Curve. They're body affirmation cards for self-love and acceptance. And these are about four-figured women, which I'm one of. And it just gives you kind of affirmations on how to kind of like embrace your body. So how I look is the least interesting thing about me. I choose to give my body the love it deserves. My self-worth is not tied to how I look in the mirror or how much I weigh. I don't need to get a beach body. My body is already beach ready. Accepting myself as I am is the first step towards liberation. So these cards are kind of good for daily pause, but they're kind of confidence boosting cards. And I like this deck because it shows the beauty in one's body. I refuse to miss out on 90% of life to weigh 10% less. So prompt 9 is a deck you wish existed or unicorn deck you want. So for me, I wish there was an oracle deck on alopecia, female alopecia, because I was recently diagnosed early this year with alopecia, and I wish there was just like an affirmation deck that I could kind of pull cards every day just to get confidence. I don't think I'm going to go completely bald, but my hair is kind of short and it's a lot thinner than what it used to be, even though a lot of people just think I've got a short haircut. But I think an oracle kind of deck around alopecia, positive kind of affirmations would be a deck that I wished existed. So prompt number 10 is which card sums up this year as a whole, or a card whose energy you want to bring in. So I've done the Tower, and I've got it from this deck here, which is called the Vison Tarot deck. But the Tower was my card of the year, and it kind of summed up my year, to be quite honest, because I had, you know, a lot of chaos, sudden upheaval, shatterings of false foundations and new beginnings. So I would say that the Tower card was my card of the year, and it actually summed up this year for me as well. Prompt 11 is tarot practice reflection. So I'm going to do it for like 2026 because this year my tarot practice has been kind of like almost non-existent because I've had a few kind of issues going on in the background, and I've done readings, but I haven't really had a consistent tarot practice. But for 2026, I want to do a 12-month ahead spread. So I've already selected my 12 cards for the year, one for each month, 12. Some spreads say that you can choose 13 cards and, you know, one for each month and then one for the overall year, but I've just stuck to 12. I'm going to devise my own spread. I've taken it from this deck here, the Vison Tarot by Angela Tubbs. And I've got a notebook of an Afro comb, so I'm going to title this like tarot journal. It's got nice big kind of lines. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at some point, either tomorrow, possibly, because I want to have it ready for the beginning of the year. I'm going to put each card, or write each card for the month, for the year in this journal, and then reflect on it each month to see how, you know, how my year's gone ahead. And I'm also going to start journaling decks that I use for the month. So I intend to use a different deck each month and also journal how I got on with it. I've got a lot of decks that are still in cellophane that I haven't used. And I think that I want to start kind of like embracing the decks that I've got and possibly do a low buy this year. So I do have quite a lot of Kickstarters that I'm going to receive next year. I do have a few pre-orders as well, but apart from those, I don't think I'll be buying any decks in 2026. I think I just want to embrace the decks that I've got, do journaling, and see how it goes. So the final prompt, which is prompt number 12, is pull a card for the new year or a deck you want to use next year. So I've pulled one card. So this is the card. And I'm hoping for 2026 that I can face my fears without letting those fears control me. I've taken my 12-month ahead spread from this deck here, which is called the Vison Tarot. I've had this deck for a little while and I haven't really used it. I've just shuffled it and looked through the cards. So for the month of January, I will be working with this deck. I'll be doing my daily pulls, my journaling from cards from this deck. So this tag is for decks that I've used in 2025. Not all of the decks were purchased in 2025. I do have a lot of tarot decks that are actually in cellophane or haven't been used that I bought years before. So they're not decks that have come to me in 2025. Not all of them anyway. So thank you so much, Chanel Days, for devising this wonderful hashtag. I will try and leave links to the decks showcased in the description bar if anybody's interested. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.